Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum everyone. I am TENGKU Mustaqeem, and for my topic I will talk about Orientalism in daily life and some personal reflection mainly about China and Malaysia, about how the current Western Hemisphere view the East. And today, for our main topic, I want to talk about Orientalism, as I just mentioned earlier. Not just as a theory, but as something that still affects daily life. Orientalism sounds academic, but it actually presents how the West continue to view the East, especially places like Malaysia and China. So, for you who might don't know, what exactly is Orientalism? So, Orientalism is a concept that has been introduced by Edward Said. Mainly, it refers to how the Western country has historically constructed the East as exotic, backward, mysterious, or inferior. Meanwhile, positioning themselves as modern and superior. These representations were never natural. They were closely tied to colonial power and were used to justify domination over Eastern societies. This has happened a long time ago, but it's still happening today. And Orientalism isn't just something from the past. It still appears in daily life, especially through media and popular culture. Asian culture are often shown as ancient, but not modern. Traditional, but not progressive at all. So, for example, when people think of China, they might imagine temples, kung fu, or strict political control rather than everyday life and diversity. And when people from the West think of Malaysia or any other nation that exists in Southeast Asia, it is often reduced to beach, food, or cheap labor. So, in short, they see us as nothing but a tourist spot. This image may seem harmless, but they limit how the East is understood. From a Malaysian perspective, this can be frustrating, because Malaysia is a culturally diverse and deeply connected to the modern world. Yet, it is still seen as undeveloped or traditional by Western standards. In the case of China, the portrayal is often extreme, much more, because China is either romanticized as an ancient civilization or feared as a global threat. What is missing in both cases is the ordinary human experience of people living there, our everyday story of the people who actually live in that very country. Personally, I realized that consuming Western media sometimes made me question whether our cultures were modern enough or advanced enough to meet those standards from the West. So this is one of the most powerful effects of Orientalism. It shapes how the East sees itself. It shapes how we view ourselves in these modern societies. It made us doubt. Does our standards have achieved the normal kind of standards? So, people might ask, why do these views still exist today? Because media continue to repeat the same narrative, which is conflict, cultural difference, without any proper context that explain the very detail of that very thing itself. And while the West become the standards of our global views, the East has become some things that kind of irrelevant to meet the standards. This is why understanding Orientalism is very important. It helps us question the stereotypes and consume media more critically. Most importantly, it reminds us that as a culture, it should be understood on their own terms, not through inherited colonial perspective or someone from the outside of those who are people living in it. Orientalism is not just a theory in a textbook. It is something that we encounter in everyday conversation, films, and assumptions. So, last but not least, by recognizing it, especially from Malaysia and China perspective, we can we can challenge this narrow representation and begin reclaiming our own narrative about our own country. So that is all for me. Thank you very much for watching.